buy stuff and experiment and have these conversations. And you change and you don't even realize it. And you come home and they're thinking that you're still this person, who is a little bit quiet, a little bit this, a little bit that. And like, I'm no longer tolerating the same things I used to tolerate, and I'm like trying to grow up. I'm trying to have better conversations. And they feel like you're leaving them behind because they all stayed at home and you left, So then I'm like, okay. And then I just moved further. I moved farther away. And when I came back from Asia, like, they had, I think they had become more comfortable with the fact that I had been gone so long. So I was like a stranger,
Yeah.
right? It's like, who are you? And it's like, some things were fine. Like, I love, the food culture and the speed, but like having to drive everywhere really aggravated me. Having to talk a certain way, having my friends think that I was still, a 17-year-old adolescent bisexual woman, stuck in the past when I'm now like fully adult, or at least trying to be.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
But do you think it's like people? I think it's like if we try and think from their perspective, it's like they base their kind of knowledge of who you are on the kind of last person they saw, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, like when I went to secondary school, I was like the opposite to what you probably were. Like a secondary school or high school, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I would say that I was pretty standard kind of like young lad. Like I didn't really study hard. Like I never really wanted to go to university. I never had the intention actually. I wanted to get an apprenticeship and like build boats and stuff like this.
That's
Like
awesome.
really, my whole concept was different because I was influenced by my environment. So a lot of my friends went on to work in engineering companies or work in the dockyard for like nuclear power and things like this. So it's all their jobs which they do are really cool and stuff, but it's just not exactly what I wanted to do. It's not what I wanted to do now. But in that period of time, I wanted to follow this like status quo and do that kind of thing. And I would say that a lot of my friends, like for example, when I went to university, I started to change. I started to change because I started to feel differently about myself. Previously, I thought I'm a fucking idiot. Like I just fuck around. Like I remember, for example, even in college, we were designing websites one time,
Yeah.
and me and my friends, we must have been like 17 or 16, and I was like, we were like trying to make our teacher cry. Like it was like not a good thing. Like, I wasn't really in a good. I wouldn't say I was in a bad environment, but we would like annoy the teacher. So it wasn't like we were trying to make her cry, but we would annoy her for our benefit to make like other people laugh, and then that in itself like made you like you felt like you were cool.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't like I was hanging around with the wrong people. All my friends were good and stuff, but it's just we were all being fucking stupid. And I felt then that I remember what happened with me was I didn't get this job that I wanted. I remember, for example, there's a company in England called Princess Yachts, so they make custom design yachts for large companies, also for like football players and shit like this, right?
Yeah.
And I always wanted to work there because I thought it'd be really cool. So I remember me and my friends, we all applied because we all wanted to work together and stuff. You all wanted to stay close together.
Yeah.
And I remember this feeling, I still really remember it. And I applied for this job, I went through the process, passed all the stuff, got to the final 10 or 15 in the interview process.
Wow.
And I had made a thing called an oscillating air engine when I was 16, so because I did engineering and stuff. So I had to create like a simplified version of an engine with the flywheel oscillating, the oscillating flywheel, the valve, the pistons, everything. I made everything from scratch, just from a piece of couple pieces of metal. I made everything, and we had a brilliant teacher and stuff. So we were quite ahead of our time in engineering in that regard. And I remember coming to the interview, and I said to, I went into the interview very confident. I was about 16, and I just remember the job was for boat building, so it was mainly woodwork related stuff. And I wanted to show the man and the lady who interviewed me, I wanted to show them my potential. So I brought them in my engine, and I said, look, I know this doesn't represent like woodwork or like yacht building, but I wanted to bring it in to show you the potential that I have. And look, if I can build this, then I can definitely help build yachts. This was kind of like my leverage point. And I genuinely thought, I've smashed it. I've
Yeah.
got this fucking job. I didn't even kind of question it in my mind. I was like, I've got it. I know I've got it. Like, it was written in the stars for me. And I didn't get it. And I was fucking gutted.
Oh.
I remember going to my grandparents' house and being like, holy fuck, what the hell am I going to do now? I either wait 1 year and apply again and maybe not get in, or do something else. And I applied for university on a whim, right? Knowing that I didn't really want to do it, but I thought, fuck it, I'll try something, right?
Yeah.
And I only did it because I had a conversation with my cousin. Literally had a conversation with my cousin, and then about 3 days later, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I've got enough credits to get in, and I got in. And ever since that moment of impulse, that impulsive decision,
Yeah.
which sometimes, like when you think in hindsight, most impulsive decisions are stupid. Not always, but in this impulsive decision was like the catalyst of everything I've ever done from now on. So I look back and I think, wow, this is absolutely like insane that this small decision evolved into me living in several different environments.
But that's
learning
how
from
it
different
is,
people.
though. That's the truth, though. Like, I think like people want you to believe that impulse
Yeah.
is like stupidity.
Yes.
But in many ways, it's a kind of aggregation of all of your secret desires and all your
It's
secret
like your inner
experiences.
child. I think it's like
Yeah.
I'm reading this book at the minute by Paulo Coelho, and it's called the Warrior of Light, right?
Okay.
And at the start of the book, it talks about you have to listen to your inner child, right? And sometimes this impulsive decision, you just have this feeling within you that it's the right thing to do, whether it's the right thing to say at the moment, the right way to act,
Yeah.
whether it's the football player and he scores a free kick that he has absolutely no right, you know, like Lionel Messi last week when he scored some crazy ass free kick, you know? This guy didn't have any right to do that, but why did he do that? Because you got the feeling to kick the ball at the right time. And I think that's the thing in life, like certain times you have to kick the ball when you feel it's necessary.